Hello and welcome to Curious Inquiries of the Quarantine in the Nighttime. Oh, Curious Cast, it's good to say hello to you, and just want to let you know I miss you. Pardon the delay for in communication about what is happening to our play. There were two reasons that I got held back. First of all, as I'm sure this is for you, the situation of quarantine postponing our play and disrupting our creativity was really emotional for me. And, I've been adapting to online teaching, but in many ways it's really good and yet really sad that I can only communicate to you through a video right now. So I just need to take some time to kind of process my feelings and learn how to, express encouragement to you. The other reason I was waiting was I wanted to make sure I got a kind of a clear direction on the possibilities for our play. In fact, I don't have like a definitive direction yet. It's really not exactly just my choice to make, not even our cast choices to make. Our school administrators have a lot to handle right now. And I think with the, we don't know how long the coronavirus is going to affect our living. So it would probably be premature to tell you a specific result of our play. Ultimately, I really wanted to thank you for the weeks you put in. I, in fact, adore you. It was one of the highlights of my year. Theater is always really important to me, and I can tell it affected you, and a lot of you gained a lot of energy and encouragement out of it, and that's what I think the theater program should be at the Potter's House. And I'm glad that we had those weeks of not really just rehearsal, but weeks of being together, because now we're not. I've got a few ideas to pass out here about what could happen to the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. There's plan A through plan D, and I would suggest plan B is the most preferred option. And we'll see what you think. So a lot of you were wondering, is the show canceled? Could we do the show in the summer? I don't think we'll think about doing it in the summer. Our stay-at-home order lasts until about June, or at least I believe it might. And even if society returns to normal in some ways, I would imagine getting together in groups would be fairly limited. I think our summer show would probably not be ideal for families. Plan A is a silly idea, but think about it with an open mind and heart. It could be a really fun thing to do if plan B does not work. Plan A is sometime in May, I invite all of the cast and their families to a Zoom meeting or Google Meet. It's very low maintenance. Each of the cast has their scripts, and then I made these like downloadable animations. So as the host, I could show viewers like the animations that they'd see from time to time during the play. And then whoever's talking, the meeting program picks up whoever's talking, so it like turns onto your voice. It'd be really wacky, but it also could be a really interesting way to train yourself for like camera work. It would just be like something to do if we're finding like, oh, we have nothing else to do besides online learning. Let's give it a shot. There wouldn't even be rehearsals involved. It's just like we'd pick a date and we'd do it. If we make mistakes, we'd laugh and then we keep going. On to plan B. Plan B is what I have my heart set on, but I don't know if it'll happen. Plan B is, if you think about it, we only had 2 weeks of rehearsal left. And so, no doubt we've forgotten some stuff. But if we can adjust back to a regular school year, I was wondering if we could all get together a week before school began, uh, and basically have a week of 3 to 4 hour rehearsals, review all that we did, because frankly, we basically did it all. We just really need to get the dust off. And then sometime in September, we would have a dress rehearsal week. And then I'd say I'm making up a date, but like the second week of September, we could have this cultural event for the school where we'd be like, hey, like coronavirus took this from us and we're going to offer this. And I think it could be a really great way to bring the school together. There's a lot of programs that don't get to like show what they worked on. You know, some of the baseball and track teams are starting to warm up, and obviously that got postponed. But I wonder if our play could still go on. And I think the best time to do it would be in early September. Plan C would be, a lot of people have talked to me. They're like, oh, yeah, so spring play didn't happen, so you're just going to make it the fall play, right? And I'm not so sure about that. In fact, I'd really rather not that this Curious Incident just become a replacement for the fall play. There's several reasons for this. You all know that you knew your roles since December, and some of you have been rehearsing since January. So you put in a lot of time to this play. If we do the fall play, I suppose we could do it a lot earlier, but some of you might have fall sports schedules that conflict, and that would be annoying. So if we wait until November, we would have almost worked a year on this play, which again is not a bad thing. It would just have its costs and benefits. I also think that if we make it the fall play, that robs new freshmen or other people who would like to be involved in a play. So I don't think that's our best idea. Finally, Plan D is, I suppose it is possible that the show doesn't happen. And I believe that's very daunting for my mind. And I'm sure you've thought about all the different possibilities. Right now, I offer you these ideas. It's not really up for like a vote, like this is what I'd rather do. I'm sure you have a preference. I'm just telling you this so you can have a little bit of closure and clarity. And I have no clear, like guidance from Mr. Clark or like Mr. Boy at this point. So thanks for letting me share some of those ideas. We are not planning a funeral for our play yet, but we'll have to be creative on how we can celebrate our work. And I hope we can. I'd love to finish with a quick little review of our cast. I miss you guys, and I've got a lot of love for each one of you. And so I just wanted to share with you some of the ways that you enriched my life and made our Curious Incident experience a really good one. Andrew Bloom, you've got some muscles on you, don't you? I was so thankful to depend on you for lifting people. You were always so willing to move just the boxes and the props. That's what I remember about you. You are always willing. You were willing to try new things. And I believe that was one of our goals for the cast. You and I have been waiting to work together for a while. We're going to find our time. I'm really glad that you signed up for this. I admire you a lot, and it was very good to have you. Olivia Winter, I adored your ATM voice for that train scene. I just had too much fun with that. And then when you're number 40 as well, just you starting to grow with like a little bit of disgust and kind of like, what's going on with this kid as he's interviewing me? I'm just so glad that you joined this group. I hope that you continue to participate because I you deserve to express yourself and just connect with people in this creative way. Coco, I admire you so much. You're a master learner. I love your handwriting and your note taking. You learn so quickly. I bet you do in school and then also the play. Um, you were just so dependable, just on time, very willing. I love that laugh you made. We'll always have that laugh. It's beautiful. Elise, I just celebrate your growth in theater all year, just taking a step back to noises off. Just a huge responsibility you had with that play, and you never gave up, and you're a tenacious person. You're tenacious. And then you played multiple roles for this play, but thinking about you as the London policeman and just tug of war with David and just having some good fun. You've got spunk. Maya blimey! I loved that as Mrs. Thompson. I thought you were fearless with the stunts. Um, you just added so much energy to the ensemble, just the group of people. You show up and you're like, what else? What can we do to make this better? And just were a great listener. I'm so glad that you tried out for a play. You are a perfect fit for theater, and I could tell you had fun, and I had fun working with you as well. Maddie! Okay, so I loved how you are like a very committed, driven young lady. So you would like run your mile before rehearsal, and then you gave great just effort and focus during rehearsal, and then you also did those like dance things on the Wednesdays. So you had a full plate, and you really balanced things well. I don't know if you remember this, but we played a game in early February. It was called Survivor and Sacrifice, and based on like one of the words I called out, either all the people had to gather around one person and shout at them, or everyone basically got on the floor and one person stood and said. And you just like code switch so well. That just means like you can play very different people. Even that status game where you were the boss. So like you are yourself, Maddie Nolan, but then you also can take on a lot of different characters and voices. So I was really impressed with your strength. Malachi, I'm so glad that you're in theater. I believe you belong here. And one of my favorite things about acting is learning to dwell on stage. And it's just this idea of just kind of being there with other people, not just having the lines memorized or I'm going to deliver it just like this, but also just being with the people. And that's really all we can do during quarantine right now. I'm glad that I got to learn with you a little bit about how to act, and you were great, Reverend Peters, and loved those like little stories you came up with on the ensemble, like walking in the subway too. Elijah, always thankful to get a handshake from you before and after the rehearsal. I think you're at a level where you're training yourself. Every time you performed in rehearsal, you obviously sought out my feedback, but you were also like, oh, that's what I liked about what I did. Oh, I should maybe change this. And I think that's awesome that you're at that maturity. Dorian, you will always have a great presence on stage. No one else could play Mrs. Shears. I get the feeling you love delivering your lines, just so powerful, so threatening. I really appreciate how you communicated with me about your work schedule, and you continue to make theater a priority, and that you could be a part of it. Esther, you were the oldest of our cast. It's so fun. Just loved just getting to see kind of the ebbs and flows of life as you came in to rehearsal. Just again, you being like committed to work and to track, but then also loving the creative results that can come out of a performance. And people would look to you for leadership. There's a good reason for that, because you have those leadership skills. And I think, yeah, your challenge to us, like, keep trying new things. I love that you have those ideas in your head to challenge us with. Julia, you showed the best hug and spin in rehearsals. I will always cherish that right here. I know you are an emotionally honest person, and that's what makes you an awesome actress. It's just about letting yourself feel what you're feeling, both in real life and on stage. And so you've been able to play a few different roles, and you have that talent of literally getting into someone else's body and feeling what they're feeling. And that's the core of acting. David, you know this, but you have such a teachable spirit. I love working with you. You showed the most clear growth in your role. Just remembering when you got the role, I said, congratulations, we've got a lot of work to do to get you there. You will be a believable father to Christopher Boone. It was great to start to see the intensity, the shame, and even the violence that can come out of Ed, the dad, from you. Erica, this was your moment. This was your moment. I'm thinking about that a lot. It's coming. It's coming. I want this for you. You are a main character and the core storyteller of the play, and you just have such a bright mind, and like memorizing those lines, huge page-long monologues. Just loved how trusting you were of just, me noticing the little things in your performance. And it can take a lot to hear and receive that feedback from a director, but you always really made quick adjustments, and you've just got a standard of excellence, and it doesn't just come from your parents or me or anyone else. That comes from you. It's awesome. Asher, our Christopher, you are doing the role of Christopher justice. You're playing it with depth and sensitivity, rawness. I don't think you've ever been as loud before as you were required to be with this script. I deeply value you. I deeply value the one-on-one work that we put into this. Thinking about where you were in The Diviners, which was a remarkable performance, there's exponential growth, man. And what's cool is you don't need tips from me anymore. I think you just need presence from me, and you are really good at motivating yourself and making your performance better. You're super trusting. Just being willing to do flips and fall backwards from heights. I really am impressed at how willing you are to trust other people. Seth, I love that you were willing to juggle basketball and this play. So glad that you had that buzzer beater. We were just getting into that crunch time where, like, you're the boss, man. I'm so glad you taped that stage that Saturday. I think that's a symbol that we're still going to be able to do this play. So we're going to do it. And then Anna, thank you for staying involved in theater. I really depended on you just for the dance stuff this time. You are a dance guru. I know you are a leader and you're organized, but I saw sides of leadership this time that just made me see that you were growing. You're good at telling people what to do, but then also showing them what to do as well. So I continue to view you very fondly, and you are a critical piece to the theater program. So long video, lots of love. My phone's gonna get mad at me if I make it any longer. I hope to see you guys again soon. I look forward to it. Email me if you want to know anything else. I'll see you later.